Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is for my junior leaders, my senior leaders, all levels of leadership. The topic today is assumption. Oftentimes as leaders, we forget to listen to our staff, to our team, anyone that reports to you or you collaborate with. You've got to keep your ears open and sometimes your mouth shut. And I find my leadership style to be a little unorthodox, so I hope that I don't ever offend someone, that I only enlighten. So today we're talking about assumption. What I've noticed here in the city that I live, in Las Vegas, is oftentimes management, or those that call themselves leaders, they don't listen to what's being said. They're assuming, and I don't know if the assumption is because of their own insecurities, their lack of, but as a leader in a leadership position, or if you want to get into leadership, you've got to listen to those speaking. And the reason we're talking about assumption today is that I have noticed across the board in several professions or career levels that oftentimes those in leadership, they don't listen. You make an assumption of what's being said, and then you blow it out of proportion, and you never ask for clarification. And it continues to fester, it continues to build a sense of negativity, a sense of resentment on both sides, and it really develops a lack of trustworthiness. Anytime you work with someone, or they work with you, and they feel that they can't trust you, or you feel that you can't trust them, you have to stop and look at what were the elements that caused us, or me, or them to feel this way. Was it because they said something and I didn't understand? I said something that they didn't understand? Or we just have a lack of communication? And oftentimes it is both. It's both. I don't ever want to point blame at one person on one side, because in order, again, to communicate, there has to be a listener and there has to be a speaker. And that dialogue exchanges back and forth. So today I would like to recommend, if you are a leader or getting into a leadership position or desire to get into leadership, work on your listening skills. Because someone could say, I don't know, they read the red book, and you could totally misconstrue what they said, turn it into something. Now you hold animosity, you're bitter, you're reacting negatively towards a behavior and action that is false. It's not even real, nor has it ever been present. So as a leader, just remember to step back and look at what's being said, what was heard. No one will ever fault you because you ask for clarification. What you will be faulted for is if you allow your ego to get in the way of productivity. And the worst thing you would want as a leader is for people to work for you because they have no other options at the moment, or for people to work for you because they're scared, or people to work for you because they need the job or they need the income. It's their bread and butter. If you're a true leader, people work for you because of the greater good. They understand your purpose, they believe in your purpose, they support your purpose, and they want to be a part of your purpose. Sorry, my camera is all over the place. And I'm not saying as a leader that you've got to go challenge your boss. No. And I'm not saying that you have to leave the position that you have. But if you do work under these circumstances, sometimes it's just time to evaluate your situation and see if where you're at is the best fit, if who you work for is the best fit. Do they stand for what you stand for? Do you work well together? Or did you work well together until assumption showed its dirty little head, and now assumption is just blowing things out of proportion? Assumption to me is almost like jealousy. You assume somebody says something and you immediately feel threatened. You feel insecure. Now your ego's out there. Now you're making comments. This is my department. I'm the head person. You know, if you don't want to work here, you could quit. Just a gamut of negative statements, often leaving your team sitting there wondering, how the hell did we get here? And why are we here? You know, sit down with your team and have temperature checks. I have called temperature checks for years. If you don't know how your team is feeling, you could be stumbling your success. And I say this because years ago when I worked in corporate, there was a manager, I think she was a senior manager. She did not check the temperature of her team. She pushed and pushed and pushed. She made negative comments when they didn't side with her. She wanted more of a yes ma'am type leader. Type follower. But that was her leadership style. And when it came time to be productive, let me tell you, her team of about 60 people got together and seized the moment. They allowed her to fail. She wasn't getting the data and the numbers that she needed. She was in trouble. And she couldn't understand why her team was not being productive. You know, why she was being called into a meeting with her boss to explain the poor performance, the poor productivity. Let me tell you, when people get tired and they're sick and tired of being tired, which is the saying my mother always said, but when someone's sick of tired of being sick and tired, they will crush your organization or your business. And you don't want that. So do not walk in the valley of assumption. Excuse me, I'm still fighting this cold. Walk in the valley of knowledge, verification, clarification, and expectation. And you will find that you go very far with your team, professionally and personally. That's my word for today, my thought for today. Thank you for following. If you haven't already subscribed, please down below subscribe. Leave comments. suggestions, and I will get back to you. And if there's something that you would like to see discussed, please share it with me. I look forward to talking to you soon. Cheers. Stay blessed.